Hello comrades, I have returned due to popular demand. So you might be thinking, Jakey, you already did an all boss run. Well, I have two things to say to you. One, they introduced 3 more bosses, or technically 2, with the Terraria X Don't Starve Together crossover, which is very cool, and the boss fights are very good. So in this run, we will be doing those bosses along with the rest of them, of course. And the second huge point, I cannot stress this enough, this is a huge point, I have let all of you down. That last all boss run I did that you all watched was as slow as HE double hockey sticks. Like, holy moly, 123 days? That's so slow. Yeah, this runs way faster, don't worry. Also, real quick, in the game, there are a bunch of mini bosses like Spider Queen and Lord of the Fruit Flies, but I define a boss as someone who drops a figure sketch and has a substantial amount of HP. That's why I don't count Spider Queen, even though in this run I do kill Spider Queen. Also, giveaway time! The makers of Terraria and Don't Starve Together were so kind that they sent me some codes to give out to you lovely people. And those codes are for 3 full versions of Don't Starve Together and 2 full versions of Terraria and 5 elegant skins on Don't Starve Together. So to enter, all you need to do is just comment so that I know your Steam name, and that's it. You can like the video at the same time if you want. And tell me what your favorite aspect about Don't Starve Together and or Terraria is. Also, this entire run was streamed on my Twitch channel, link in the description. Without further ado, let the run begin. For the world generation, we're going to generate the forest as small and the caves as medium. Mods? No mods. Any server mods? No. Any client mods? The only client mods I use are ones that free up user interface or mute annoying sounds. And of course, we're using Wolfgang because double damage good and he's very hard to die. Now, if you're some kind of normie and you've never played Don't Starve Together or you don't know a lot about it, you have 3 status bars: health, hunger, and sanity. If your health hits 0, you die. So simply don't let your health hit 0 and then you can't die. And when your hunger hits 0, that starts draining your health, meaning that you will die. And if your sanity hits 0 or starts getting really low, shadow creatures spawn which might attack you, and if you don't dodge them, they deal damage to you, decreasing to your health to 0, and therefore you die. So in the first day or 2, I want grass, twigs, flint, and I'm also trying to find gold. Holy, is that a walking cane boon? So the chances of getting a walking cane boon is extremely low. A walking cane gives you a 25% speed boost, which is absolutely huge, and usually you cannot get it until your first winter. For all of these runs, I never use boons because obviously if I picked up that walking cane on day 1, I would be at a massive advantage to someone who did the run without the walking cane boon. Now, I was struggling to find gold, but instead I found Mother Nature's booty hole, so I cracked that bad boy open and dived right in. After arriving in the underworld, we quickly steal some of Mother Nature's fresh balls and then we swiftly leave again. Finally, gold! We need lots of gold for the start of this run, like at least a stack, so let's wipe out this entire biome. Yum 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 yum. So here's another pretty useful boom. It spawns with a bunch of gold and a miner hat, which is like a lantern, but for your head. So it provides light at nighttime. Speaking of nighttime, here we go. If you didn't know about the dangers of nighttime and Don't Starve Together, here's a little tip for you. I always have a light source, otherwise this happens. Oh, see that right there? That's the bishop head. We're gonna need that to spawn a group of bosses later. Ah, this bird bonked me. You'll pay for that. I will retrieve your 2 juicy meats. What, a second walking cane boom? We have 2 walking cane booms in one world. What the heck are the chances of that? You know what, live commentary Jakey? I don't know what the chances of that is, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is twice as rare as getting a single walking cane boon in one world. And suddenly I found a pigman trying to 1v1 some hentai. Now usually in this place where there's a mini swamp, you can find Chester, but I can't find him, so I'm kinda suspicious because I don't know where he is. Boys, we've located the moonstone. We need to know where this is. In fact, we might even base near to the moonstone. Okay, we have the gold, we found the pig king, and by pig king, there are always pig houses, so we are going to pillage the pig houses. Ooh, look at all these houses lined up for me, ready to pillage. After committing countless crimes against the pig king, we're ready to move on to the next goal. That being making an alchemy engine so that I can make a bat made of ham. I'm not going to make the same joke again. Except I am, so that I can beat people with my meaty hambat. And a football helmet that gives me 80% damage reduction, and it has 315 health points, along with a lantern, blah, 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 and a bunch of other stuff that doesn't really matter. And now, while I continue exploring, I'm going to be gathering lots of mushrooms, because they count as vegetables in a crock pot, which is going to make a very good food later on. So you might think this looks pretty nice, you know, just one hound mound with some lots of gold rocks, which I actually need because I'm kind of low on gold. But if we just take a little walk up, we'll see that Lord have mercy, the Dragonfly fight music has started. That means there is a Hound Fortress set piece, which is a very rare set piece where there's just a ton of hound mounds which spawn hounds, spawned right on top of Dragonfly's arena. And I have to kill Dragonfly. This is going to make Dragonfly's fight so hard and annoying, but we'll cover that when we actually kill Dragonfly. But just know that this will be a very big challenge, probably. Ah, help me, Dragonfly's coming. So when Dragonfly gets attacked by anything, he will always target the player. At least he'll try to target the player as long as you're within range. So there I take a hit from Dragonfly because the stupid hounds was attacking him. Now starts the spider grind. I need like a stack of silk and a bunch of monster meat for food. And we're at the swamp, so we may as well pick up some reeds while we're here too, because we'll need that for pan flutes and a birdcage. Yo, what the hell? Did someone have a gender reveal party over here or something? Like, what happened? Just kidding, it was me. I need charcoal. I have bad news. At least, bad news for the spiders. I ran out of spiders in the swamp, so I've moved to a forest where I'm gonna annihilate all of them. Huge moment. We found a tree that when I chop it down and dig it up, it gives me 3 living logs, which is exactly what I need to make 2 Starcrawler staffs and 1 deconstruction staff. Shoot, I went insane by accident. Better take care of these shadow creatures. When you defeat a shadow creature, it restores a little bit of sanity depending on the type of shadow creature that you kill. So sanity is one of those status bars that you can kind of ignore, because as long as you kill the shadow creatures, you'll just gain sanity. Holy moly, another tree. More living logs for me. My first victim has been found. Oh, got him. Mandrake one acquired. What is this? Another Mandrake? Immediately after. Smack. Ah. Got the second prisoner. What the? Another Mandrake? Fine, I'll take it. I don't need it, but I'll take it. Boy, oh boy, I've angered the horde and I'm insane. So yeah, turns out I don't have enough meat to make all the food that I need. So it's time to slaughter some cows. Huh? What the heck is that? That's a Krampus. That means I killed so many innocent creatures in the world. My hidden naughtiness meter maxed out, causing a Krampus to spawn. Now, Krampus does have a 1% chance to drop a backpack, which has like loads of inventory slots, but unfortunately I didn't get it. Also, it's worth noting, if I did get the Krampus sack, I wouldn't use it because it's so unlikely. So for real, right here I was so confused. I thought I would have found Chester by now, but I genuinely hadn't found wherever he spawned yet. So my inventory is really full and I'm having a sad time. So I'm stealing this little pig village's grass. So that act of absolute arson, I totally forgot that I did it. So here's the remainder of said wreckage. So let's just collect that all up. Now it is base building time, so we're putting down an alchemy engine, 6 crock pots, which will make me food throughout the entire run. They're absolutely essential, and other structures that I'll need, like a bird cage that gives me eggs. Now we must speed run the cooking content. This run isn't going very good. You can't really tell because I've been speeding through everything, but I didn't find all of the statue pieces that I needed to find. So at this point in the run, I'm thinking of maybe restarting, but we'll see that I did not. So I'm saying this because I'm making a bunch of meaty stews because I still need to do a lot of exploring. One reason is because we didn't get all of the 4 bunnies that we needed yet, so let me just rob them from their homes. And so those 4 bunnies made me a prestidigitator, and that prestidigitator is going to make me 2 pan fruits. So after doing a bunch of cooking, we're going to clean out some bees and then get started with the bee queen fight. So, I'm just going to quickly explain the Bee Queen fight before we speed on through it. So, the Bee Queen spawns minions. In the first phase, which is the first 25% of her health, she will only spawn 1 group of minions unless you kill all of them. So you kill all of them except 1, and then you only have to tank Bee Queen and 1 minion. Also, since my last run, they changed how bosses flinch against your attacks. So, for some bosses it makes it harder to kill them, but for someone like Bee Queen, it actually makes it easier to kill them, because usually after Bee Queen attacks you twice, she'll try to run away and then come back, but as you can see, as she's about to run away, I can hit her 3 or 4 times and she'll get stunned or she'll get staggered at 3 or 4 times, meaning I get like 2 or 3 extra hits every time that we have a face-off. Alright, second phase of Bee Queen. So when she hits 75% health, all the way down to 50% health, she will spawn 2 loads of Grumblebees. And if you kill like 1, 2, or 3 of them, she'll just spawn more. So the idea is you ignore them by putting everything to sleep, and then you just get a few hits on Bee Queen, and then rinse and repeat. Just keep putting everything to sleep, unless you mess up like right there, which is actually a shame because this fight is actually super clean. Other than that, other than that one mess up right there. We have entered the third and final phase of Bee Queen, so she screams and that enrages her Grumblebees and they will charge at you really fast. But the charge only lasts like 7 seconds or something. I count in my head because she screams 7 times, and after the 7th scream, then the bees will stop chasing you. And they'll try to go back to Bee Queen. So the idea is you run far away to bait the Grumblebees into going far away. Then when they stop charging, you put them all to sleep. Then you can have maximum amount of time with you and just Bee Queen. So you can get in a lot of damage. And we're going to repeat that until she's dead. Whoa, I did it in 2 bee less than, look at that. I didn't even break into my 3rd beekeeper hat. I've never done that before. Like live commentary Jakey just said, for the update where I would get less hits in because I can't stagger a Bee Queen, I would always break into my 3rd helmet, but this time I only used 2 beekeeper helmets, so that's noteworthy. For any future runs, I don't need as much silk because I only need 2 beekeeper hats, not 3. Okay, so Bee Queen, she drops her crown, which reverses sanity auras. Some creatures will drain your sanity if you're close to them, like ancient Fuelweaver, and the Bee Queen crown just reverses it, so you gain sanity rather than losing sanity. And she drops a bundling wrap for blueprint, which preserves your food, is what I'm going to be using it for. And so then I make friends with the beefalo, mount him, and I start exploring. So I explored the entire Moonstone Forest, and I didn't find what I was looking for. If you remember, I only found the bishop head. But look, we found Chester, finally! On day, what is that, day 11? Welcome to the team, Chesty boy. We find the deer, which is actually kind of nice, because we'll need to know that before the start of winter. And then, goodness me, it's a full moon, so we grab Glommer, and we kill a pig, so that it doesn't kill Glommer. Now, you know, we have to keep Glommer very safe. We can't let any harm come to him. Now, while exploring the desert, we found those marks on the floor that we just saw. That means Antlion is going to spawn there in the summer. And hey, we found the goats. We need to remember this because we'll need to kill goats later on. Hey, and there's one of the other sculpture heads that we need. Hey, and here's the set piece. So let's drop the knight head off right here. And now, I didn't explain how to spawn the new Terraria bosses, but there it is. In there, you can't quite see it, but there is a chest. And inside that chest is a terrarium, and that is how you spawn the Terraria bosses. So I'm leaving Chester, Glommer, and the beefalo over there because these pigs are really dangerous. And I had no idea that the terrarium would be guarded like this. So I'm trying to click on the chest, but I can't quite click on it because all the berry bushes are in the way. But I managed to open it, I tank a few pigs, I grab the terrarium, and I run away. But then the pig guards turned into werepigs. So I'm like, heck, I think they've already aggroed on me, as you can see, because they're running after me. Okay, now we have to escape. So I'm picking up Glommer, Chester, and the beefalo, and then we're heading out there. The werepigs are on me. Oh goodness, the beefalo wouldn't let me mount, so I'm trying to feed it grass to get its friendship up so that it will let me mount him again. I mount the beefalo and I run away, and then I just realized I left Glommer. I didn't pick up Glommer's flower, so he's being killed by werepigs. No! At this point, I was so sad. Glommer died after I got him. There, his dead flowers and his dead wings, and the werepigs are still there. So I was so sad. I really wanted to restart the run now. It's day 13. I haven't found all of the sculpture pieces yet. Glommer died. It's just a disaster. And then I thought I'd gather some meat using my beefalo. So I used my beefalo to defeat the beefalo. But then my beefalo kicked me off and then just started attacking me. So I'm guessing if you attack a beefalo while you're mounted on an untamed beefalo, it gets angry at you. Anyway, so it's all going terribly, but it's fine. We found the final piece. We found the rook's nose. So now we can go grab my saddle again, mount the beefalo, and take the rook nose back to the set piece. And then we grabbed the bishop head and delivered that back to the set piece. Now, the next boss we're going to fight is the normal version of the Terraria boss. So, like I said, there are 2 boss encounters for the Terraria bosses. So the first one is a very simple Eye of Cthulhu. So right now we're just preparing the food, including some jelly beans. Jelly beans you can make using the royal jelly that you can only get from Bee Queen, which I did earlier. And if you eat 1 jelly bean, it heals you for 2 health every 2 seconds for 120 seconds. So it heals you for 120 health over 2 minutes. This fight is kind of short, so we're just going to watch all of it. So there's the terrarium. I put it down and I've touched it. And oh goodness, it's beaming something into the sky. What's about to happen? Holy moly, it's an Eye of Terror! That took its time to spawn. Okay, this bad boy has 5,000 health, and he has 2 main attacks. He poops out minions, like there, and another attack where he just dashes. Now, his dash does do a loads of damage, but as you can see, it's pretty easy to dodge. And now, goodness me, he's terrifying! He grew a mouth! Once you get him down to low enough health, he grows a mouth, and when he dashes multiple times, and he dashes faster, and he lays eggs faster. So yeah, it's just the fight but harder. So I actually get hit there and my helmet breaks, so I have to be really careful now, since he does do a lot of damage. His dash is pretty easy to dodge, since he just heads in a direction directly towards you, so you just run perpendicular to where he's going. And look at that, he's dead. So yeah, that fight took like a minute with Wolfgang, so there you go. Good thing we could do it in one night. So the twist with this boss is you can only spawn it at night, and once morning comes, he despawns. But he keeps the health that you reduced him to. So if I reduced him down to like 10 health, and then he despawned because morning came, when I respawned him on the next night, he would have the same amount of health. He wouldn't regen, which is cool. Now you'll see he did drop me some milky egg whites or something, which I used for some recipe that isn't that good. But the more important drop is the helmet. This helmet is actually legit, like, really good, and I really like it. So what it does is it's the exact same as a football helmet, so 80% damage reduction with 315 health, except this helmet can be recharged with food. And me and the geniuses in my Twitch chat, we figured out, like, what's the formula for how much a food heals the helmet's durability, and we discovered that the more a food damages you and the higher its hunger value, that will restore the helmet's durability the most. Whereas if you feed it a food that would actually heal the player, it wouldn't be as effective on the helmet. So basically what this comes down to is feeding it raw monster meat is basically the best, because raw monster meat gives you hunger and takes away health. So it only takes 2.8 monster meat to get 100% durability on your helmet. You just see Dragonfly hanging out in the distance there. But right now I don't have a massive influx of excess food, so I'm going to be using football helmets for a while until I have lots of food, then I'll start using this helmet a bit more. But now, it is time for the fight for Dragonfly. Now, like I said before, there is a Hound Fortress right on top of Dragonfly, so, yeah, this might be painful because the Hounds are definitely going to interrupt the fight. As I started this fight, I wasn't sure how disastrous it was going to be, but here we go. So here you can see that I'm kiting Dragonfly. Now, Dragonfly is very kind of tough to fight. I mean, tough to kite. If you are out of range before he starts his attack animation, Dragonfly will slide forward, and as soon as he starts his attack animation, if he's already sliding forward, then he will continue sliding forward, meaning he moves while he attacks. But like I'm doing, if you wait for him to start his attack animation and then you move, then he won't move, and therefore you can kite the attack, so you can dodge it. Look, I've even got a Hound helping me with a kill. Now, to help understand this situation a little more, I'm going to explain how Hounds' intelligence work. So Hounds will attack whatever is closest to them, assuming it's not another Hound, but they only do that when they bark. So when they bark, they're re-aggroing. So whenever they re-aggro, they just attack whatever the nearest thing is, which if it's Dragonfly, that's all good, because that means the Hounds are attacking Dragonfly. Sometimes they attack larvae, sometimes they attack me. So if you see me kill a Hound, it's because I know they're about to attack me. Now, these larvae only take 5 hits to kill with a mighty Wolfang with a handbat, but otherwise, they explode into flames and they set you on fire if they get too close to you. But you can dodge their attacks pretty easily just by moving as they attack. And oh boy, there's an enraged Dragonfly. That was kind of scary. Fighting the enraged version of Dragonfly is just not worth it. So I used the pan flute to put him to sleep to stop him from being enraged. Look at that poor Hound just got absolutely wiped out by Dragonfly. Anyway, these Hounds aren't being as much of a pain as I thought they would be. So let's speed up the fight. So here the fight gets a little messy. I have to put Dragonfly to sleep to take care of these larvae and the stupid Hounds. And Dragonfly wakes up and I actually get hit by his pound attack, but I only get hit by one of the attacks, luckily. I check my health there like damn, because I dropped 100 health by being hit once. But I think I was damaged a little bit beforehand. But anyway, stupid Hound, attack Dragonfly. Yeah, good Hound. Alright, let's continue the fight. So here the fight gets a little messy. I have to put Dragonfly to sleep to take care of these larvae and the stupid Hounds. And Dragonfly wakes up and I actually get hit by his pound attack, but I only get hit by one of the attacks, luckily. I check my health there like damn, because I dropped 100 health by being hit once. But I think I was damaged a little bit beforehand. But anyway, stupid Hound, attack Dragonfly. Yeah, good Hound. Alright, let's continue the fight. getting a finishing assist from 2 hounds, and I swiftly kill them so they don't eat my meat. Yeah, that was a pretty damn good fight, given that there was a hound fortress right above Dragonfly. Like, for real, I expected that to be, like, basically impossible. But hey, we got a bunch of free monster meat from all of those hounds. That's good. But the real reason we killed Dragonfly now rather than later is because he gives you guaranteed gems, which we're now going to use by going into the ruins. And it's day 16, and usually I go into the ruins like day 13 or 14, so yeah, we're running quite a bit behind, so we have to be fast. So into the caves we go to find the ruins in hopefully a record time, because holy moly, we need to be back on the surface before ideally day 19 or 20 so we can prepare for winter. So after committing thievery from our local bunny rabbit and stealing his carrots, we legit found the ruins, or at least the lichen which leads to the ruins, in only 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So yeah, this is a bad run, but we got lucky with finding the ruins, so I can't complain. Please monkeys, be gentle. I'm being chased by a horde of monkeys, so I don't dare stop moving, and luckily for me, I find the ruins. There they are. Now brace yourself, I just ran into a dead end, so I need to pull a risky maneuver and not get stun locked by these monkeys. Oh! I took 2 hits, but that was pretty clean. So shadow monkeys can easily stun lock you. Stun locking in this game is you get bitten by one monkey and that stops you for a split second, so another monkey can bite you, and that's a chain reaction, so they all bite you until your armor breaks and then you die. But man, I really need a way to shake these monkeys off my tail. Hey look, a clockwork rook. Can you help me out there, buddy? And so you could just hear the clockwork rook, when he charges, he just damages whatever's in front of him. So you could hear he damaged a bunch of monkeys and killed some of them. Thank you, clockwork rook. No, help me! Oof, he turned unmighty, which stopped me for a second, and then the monkeys got a bite on me. Rook, save me, please! Oh, okay. So, I was running for so long that the shadow monkeys, eventually, they turned back to normal monkeys, which de-aggroes them from me. So that was kind of lucky, but the rook was there to save me anyway. Now, we can actually loot up the ruins for everything we need. Speaking of what we need a Magiluminescence, which is an amulet which buffs your speed and also gives you light, and it takes nightmare fuel to keep it fueled. Then this stupid worm wouldn't leave me alone, and then I was like, wait a second, if I kill him, I get loads of monster meat. Monster meat keeps my helmet charged, so I realized I should just kill him. 2 birds, 1 stone. Dang it, I got hit, what an idiot. I need 2 Starcrawler's staffs. 1, because I like to have a Starcrawler staff, and I definitely need a second one to turn into a Mooncrawler staff, and then we need a deconstruction staff to deconstruct that Mooncrawler staff so that we can get the gem from the Mooncrawler staff, and that gem will unlock the archives, but that's not until very much later on. Man, I'm kind of desperate for Thule Sight. I'm going to hammer this broken station. So broken stations are kind of cool to hammer because you get a guaranteed 2 Thule Sight, and then you have a chance of either spawning like creatures that will attack you, but sometimes you can get given ruins gear like lazy explorers, although it is extremely rare to actually get that. And the reason I broke that station is because I found multiple stations, so it doesn't matter if I break a few of them. Now, since I was kind of behind in this run, I made the decision to just leave now rather than like staying just so that I can make a few Thule Sight crowns. Thule Sight grounds give 90% damage reduction, and when you get hit, you have a chance to generate a bubble around you, which prevents you from being staggered whenever you get hit, so it means you can't get stun locked to death. It's a bit risky to stay down here for longer because I might run out of time and might miss parts of the run, so we head back to the surface with exactly what we need. Now remember, Dragonfly dropped us that blueprint that gives us the furnace, which basically is infinite heat in a small range, which is amazingly useful for winter, since in winter you get cold, and now I have an infinite heat source. And then what the heck? The fiend! A moleworm tried to steal my gears, so I whopped him over the head and then destroyed his home. So if you didn't know, if you kill a moleworm and then destroy its home by digging it up, it permanently removes that moleworm from the world. Whereas if you don't kill the moleworm but you dig up its home, it'll just make a new home, so that doesn't destroy the moleworm. Then I was just doing some general tending to the base, and then holy, another moleworm! So the reason I'm actually removing these moleworms is because they steal things like gears and rocks and gems that you leave on the floor, so I don't want any of those being stolen. And then to solve all of your problems in winter, just make a thermal stone. It stores heat in it, and the heat stored in it stays there for a long time. So I put that next to the furnace to heat that up ready for winter tomorrow. Then our neighboring toolbird suspiciously died, but I'm gonna loot up the meat and steal its egg, and then I just saw there's a tree guard over there. So it looks like a meteor storm knocked over a tree, which caused a tree guard to spawn, and then the toolbird attacked the tree guard, and of course the tree guard killed. the toolbird. Now if you didn't know, a toolbird egg actually counts as 2 eggs, so I can make bacon and eggs with just 1 egg. Now we make an ice staff that I actually don't use, but I thought I would need to use it against the Mactusk. I was really hungry for some silk, but then after witnessing a poor pig man get obliterated by a horde of spiders, I reconsidered my options and I found a nest where there wasn't as many spiders. Stupid spiders, this is my home now. Anyway, so we Leroy Jenkins into Mactusk camp and we just rush him and he dies. I didn't even need to use the ice staff. Normally I would use the ice staff to freeze him because he runs away, and then I got hit by a few hounds, but that's fine. Wait, where'd the meat from the Mactusk go? Can we get a replay there? The child ate the dad's meat. Oh my goodness, this is horrific. I can't believe we just witnessed such horridness. Anyway, after that, let's commit our own horrific act and kill all these spiders. So we do need more silk, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to explain how to kill spiders without taking much damage. So a tier 3 spider nest houses a whole lot of spiders, and if you attack a spider on or near the web of the spider den, then all of the spiders in the nest will come out plus 3 spider warriors. But you can lure 3 out at a time, kill them, and keep doing that until the nest is empty. Though the nest will never be empty. There will always be 1 spider warrior left, even if you've emptied the nest completely. So we do that, kill the nest, and now it's time to kill the Shadow Piece bosses. So these bosses drop the Shadow Heart or the Shadow Atrium, which we need to fight Ancient Fuelweaver later. So we attach the heads and we spawn them by mining them on a new moon. So we kill the knight first because the knight is the easiest to kill first and the hardest to kill last. You'll see that these shadow creatures have level up mechanics. So if you kill any one of them, the remaining 2 will level up to a maximum of level 3. Now the knight has a very long range and he hits very hard, but once in a while. The bishop teleports to you and then does lots of small hits, and the rook teleports to you and does 1 big hit. So the rook is the one we want to fight last because we can dodge his attack. The other 2, it's kind of hard to dodge their attacks, or you just straight up can't dodge their attacks. So for that reason, we killed the knight first, then we're going to kill the bishop, and then we're going to kill the rook. Oh goodness, the level 3 rook is so scary. Now this would be easier with a walking cane, which I didn't get from Mactusk, but because I'm Wolfgang and I have a Magiluminescence and I'm on a path, I have just enough speed to avoid the Shadow Rook's attack. If you weren't Wolfgang, you would need a walking cane to dodge this attack. And he's dead. Along with the heart, we get some extra nightmare fuel, a free dark sword, and some free nightmare armor, which is 95% damage reduction, so that'll be nice for a boss battle later on. And now begins the boring part of winter, where I gather ice and living logs. And the reason why you gather ice is because 3 ice and any meat will make meatballs or some new rabbit stew, which are both very good recipes, and ice is just really easy to get, so if you ever struggle for food in winter, just gather some ice. And then we go to the goats, because we do need 5 whole goat horns for this entire run, and they only have a 25% drop rate. And the goats take 2.5 days to respawn, but their herd size maximum is 6, meaning I need to keep them below maximum of 6. And then we plant some seeds, because we need 1 potato for this entire run. Just 1. We need it for a crafting recipe much later on, but in winter is the most likely time that you'll get a potato. To fight the next Terraria boss, I need to use nightmare fuel on the terrarium, but the terrarium is still respawning. So the Eye of Cthulhu and the Twin Terrors, they count as the same boss because they share a cooldown timer, so I have to wait till 15 days after I killed the last boss before I can spawn the Twin Terrors. Which is a pain, because I usually like to kill the Twin Terrors between day 25 and 29. And now we chop down a bunch of dead trees for 2 reasons. 1, I actually need wood, but gathering wood yourself takes ages, because chopping down a fully grown tree takes 15 swings with an axe. Or I can swing once against a dead tree to get a pine cone, then plant that pine cone, then we will use Deerclops to cut down the trees for us in a fraction of the time. And also, every time I chop down a dead tree, I have a chance of spawning a tree guard, which I get tons of. And tree guards are also good because the living logs I can turn into dark swords, which are the best weapons in the game for damage. Hello again, Mactusk. It's time to die. Can you give me the walking cane, please? Oh, we actually got it. Nice. So the Mactusk tusk right there, we can turn that into a walking cane for extra speed bonus, and we also need to upgrade that into the magical staff, which is the Lazy Explorer, which we'll need for Fuelweaver later on. What's with all these tree guards? What the heck, dude? Whatever, I'll take the living logs. I have way too many living logs for the run now, but you know, I can't go. Another one! Oh my goodness! With said living logs, let's make a Shadow Manipulator, which is a tier 2 magic machine, and then we're gonna plant all of those pine cones we got. Now, I did specifically collect 80 because that will give me like just enough wood for the entire run, and then we remember where we saw the deers during all caught them, and there they are. So let's hit one of them, scare them into a tree. Bam, deer antler acquired. And now we just need to find Klaus' sacks to kill Klaus, the next boss. Also, you used to be able to stun lock these guys indefinitely, but because they changed how staggering works, you can no longer stun lock them, which means these deers are not worth killing because you have to chase them all around the map. Hello, Mr. Piggy Boy. Have you seen... Oh. You have seen Klaus' sack, it's right there. So immediately after getting the deer antler, we found Klaus' sack really fast, and now the fight begins. So if you don't know what Klaus does, I'm going to explain it, or if you do, I'm going to teach you how to do it better. Alright, so Klaus has two magic attacks, a fire and an ice attack, both of which you want to avoid because they just make you take damage, or like the ice attack, it completely immobilizes you if you get frozen. Klaus himself will just do two swipes like that, which you can just step back and dodge. Now the typical pattern is he'll swipe, you dodge, he'll swipe, you dodge, then he'll alternate between whichever magic attack he's going to do. But his magic attacks have a cooldown, so he doesn't always do two melee attacks into a mage attack. It depends how long you mess about for. Another thing to note is how I move differently depending on which magic attack is hitting me. So for the ice attack, I move pretty soon into the cast animation, and I move very quickly to the other side of Klaus so that I can do attacks while he's still casting the animation. And similarly for the fire attack, except the fire attack is a slightly longer casting animation. And then once you've got him down to low enough health, he summons two Crabby, and they're pretty easy to dodge as long as you have the speed bonus, which I do, so it's no problem. These guys have a 1% chance of dropping a Krampus sack, and I didn't get it. What the heck is this luck? And now back to the fight. Easy fight. He's down for the count. Wait, what? He's being revived? No way, who could have seen this coming? So now we're fighting Klaus unchanged. The fight is the same except two new things. He does a pounce attack with his mouth, which is actually, you can avoid it with very minimal speed bonus. If you stay right in front of Klaus and you dodge right at the last second, right before he pounces, then it's actually really easy to dodge and you don't need that much speed bonus. And he also has an aggro animation where he just screams, which just gives you time to do some free damage. Otherwise, the fight's the same. Deers did more damage to me than Klaus. So when you kill Klaus, the deer for some reason will just go for you even if you're out of their attack range. But there we go, Klaus is dead. Now I get my 4 free presents from his sack. Thank you, Santa Claus. Silly penguins were distracted by a tentacle, so I stole their babies. Now what are we gonna get from Klaus's presents? Oh, coal, more charcoal, and oh, mandrake. Cool. So that's one of the renewable ways of getting mandrakes from killing Klaus, but yeah, no Krampus sack, sad. Pretty soon I'm gonna need a good supply of twigs and grass, so I planted all of my saplings and tufts in preparation. Then tragedy strikes. You see how my beefalo there is fighting a tool bird? Yeah, off screen that beefalo died. We can tell because here, the baby beefalo is running back to his home because he can't follow his mother anymore because the mother died. Oh, it was so sad. And then I didn't even realize how close I was to the meteor field, but luckily my base is like 1 or 2 tiles out of range of the meteor field. If you didn't know, meteors destroy structures, so basing near a meteor zone is a bad idea. The sacred potato has been grown. We will bundle this bad boy up because we will absolutely need him later. So now is the time I would really like to fight the Terraria bosses, but like the terrarium still hasn't respawned, so I have to wait. Shower me with gold, pig boy. No, Chester, get off my Chester. Protect Chester at all costs. We've already lost Glommer. We can't suffer another loss. Oh, the sacred holy horn. And a third one. Oh my goodness, my luck is so good. Hello, has the terrarium respawned yet? No, you can tell when the terrarium is respawned because there'll be a little tree inside of it and you're able to touch it, but it's still not respawned. This means we'll have to fight the Terraria bosses on day 30, and you know what else happens on the night of day 30? Goodness me, it's Deerclops! Wait, what am I doing? I'm meant to be fighting Deerclops. Except I'm not. So, Here's the master plan. We spawn Deerclops on day 30 and then we just leave them over there. I put down that sign to bait Deerclops to standing over there. Then we're going to run on back to the terrarium because it is time to fight the terrarium bosses. Or more specifically, the Twin Terrors, not the Eye of Cthulhu. Now these Twin Terrors are a much harder boss fight than the Eye of Cthulhu. So they're the same as the Eye of Cthulhu, except they have twice as much health and they have slightly different behavior. So this slightly blue twin, he prefers to dash, as you can see. So whenever he attacks, he just has a higher chance to dash rather than spawning minions. And conversely, the other red twin, he prefers to summon minions rather than dashing. And again, I have to dodge these bosses because they just hit super duper hard. But before I could finish off the blue twin, it's morning, which means they despawned, but it's fine. We made progress. That means the next night, we will have to continue the fight. Hello, Deerclops, did you die to a tree guard? Nope. Okay, cool. Come with me, Deerclops, it's time to do some wood chopping. So this is a strat I use in all of my runs because later on when we go onto the sea, we need wood to make boats and boat patches and stuff. Unfortunately, all of my trees aren't fully grown, but that just means I get one less log from them. So it'll still be enough wood probably. And look at that, satisfying Deerclops chopping down trees. Now once Deerclops was done chopping down trees for me, I was debating whether or not to make him fight the Terraria twin boss battle, but as fun as it would have been, the Twin Terrors would have killed Deerclops really fast, and Deerclops' DPS is terrible compared to mine. So I figured I might not have enough time to kill both of the twins if I let Deerclops join the fight because he would stop me from doing a lot of damage. So after Deerclops cleaned up a little bit of the swamp for me, I decided I'm just gonna kill him. After he's done his work, he's done his wood chopping, so we're just gonna kill him. So I do 4 hits in total before running away, and you'll see that I do my first hit, then I step back, then I do 3 more hits. Deerclops, like ancient Fuelweaver, has a very big sanity aura of negative 400 per minute, but this sanity aura only applies when you're like smack dab like right on top of the enemy. So if I step back, I get like 10% of the sanity aura, so I get about minus 40 per minute. And then we dispatch Deerclops no problem, and his eyeball is actually a very good drop. It makes the Eyebrella, which has 100% rain protection. Now we wait once again for the Twin Terrors. Jump scared by the twins. Alright, so the strat is I only really want to fight one twin at a time. So you'll see I'm baiting the blue twin into following me to leave the red twin behind, because fighting both twins at the same time is damn near, not impossible, but it's really, really hard. There we go, we've got the blue one all isolated. Now, I'm not going to speed up any of this fight because it's a new fight and people might want to see the strats. And so the reason I have the pan flute is actually not for this twin, although you can use it for this twin, but its main use is if there's too many minions, you just put the main boss to sleep, take care of the minions, and then resume the fight with the boss. Okay, and so once you get one of the twins to a low percentage of health, both of the twins will grow a mouth. So yes, you heard that correctly. Once one twin gets low HP, both of them grow a mouth. And what this indicates is the second phase, where their attacks are faster, more frequent, and when they spawn minions, they spawn more minions. So you can see now the blue twin spawns 2 minions at a time, and when he dashes lots of times, and he dashes a little bit faster. And the same again with the Eye of Cthulhu. When either of the twins start their dash, you need to run perpendicular to where they're dashing to avoid the dash, since they dash directly towards you in a straight line. And there is the blue twin down, so now we just have the red twin left. Wait a second, it's a full moon. Do you remember we lost Glommer on day like 12 or something? We need to go get him. So I thought of this beforehand. Before I started the fight, I knew that I had to kill one of the twins, then go to Glommer to go get Glommer, because we cannot complete the run without Glommer, because look at him, he's just so cute. But for real, you don't actually need Glommer to complete the run, but Glommer's goop, which is what Glommer produces over time, is very handy for the Celestial Champion fight. And we're straight back into the fight. Now as you can see, the red twin spawns a whole lot more minions than the blue twin, but his dashes are slower and he doesn't do them as often. But I couldn't quite kill him in time, so we'll have to wait until the night of day 32 to finish him off. And hold up, at the time I didn't know this, but this twin drops a green gem and the other twin drops a yellow gem. So these bosses are actually kind of useful to kill early on because you get a free green and yellow gem. So anyway, while we wait for the night of day 32 to finish off the red twin, we're going to collect all the logs that Deerclops very nicely provided for us. Ah, there he is again. I don't think his entrance animation works properly, so he kind of just appeared. But anyway, this twin is the easier twin to kill than the blue twin. And so there is kind of some strategy to this fight in that you could choose to kill the red twin before the blue twin. The best strategy, but it's a bit finicky, is you could reduce both the twins to just before the threshold where they grow a mouth. And then that way you can do the most damage to both of the twins without either of them growing a mouth. So right there, the fight was getting a little bit out of hand, so I had to put them all to sleep. I got hit so much by the boss then. Also here I kind of picked up on a strat that when it spawns minions and then does a dash attack, you can just use that dash attack to pull the boss away from its minions. That way the minions won't see you and won't attack you. There we go, the red twin is dead and that extra yellow gem is mine. And that's not all. The Eye of Cthulhu gives you that helmet that we've been using. The twin terrors give you a shield of terror. Now this shield is amazing. So why is the shield so good? So it does 51 damage per strike, which is the same as the tentacle spike. For comparison, Dark Sword does 68 damage per swing, and it gives you 80% damage reduction like a football helmet, and you can recharge it with monster meat or any food, but monster meat is the most effective. And so yeah, that's why it's good, and I will be using it to kill trash mobs during this run, which will save me a few Dark Swords. And now there is some common misinformation going around that the shield attacks faster than normal weapons. I've tested this and it's not true. A normal character does 2.15 swings every 1 second. I'm not going to go too deep into DPS, so I'm just going to put up a bunch of DPS calculations on screen now. So if you're interested, you can pause the video and look at all the DPS calculations. Otherwise, we're moving on. A crucial piece of equipment, a lightning rod. This will protect us from lightning in spring, which is coming up very soon. And crafting a nice umbrella, like I said before. This gives you 100% rain protection, so you just need this item and you're good to go for rain. In my last run, I didn't actually explain what this weapon does, so I just made a Morning Star, which requires a Volt Goat Horn, 2 Niter, and 2 electrical doodads. And this weapon is actually really bad, but it does electric damage, and electric damage takes the base damage of the weapon and multiplies it by 1.5. So in the case of the Morning Star, its base damage is only 28.9, which is like really bad, but that gets multiplied up to 43.35. But if the target you're fighting is wet, your damage multiplier goes from 1.5 times to 2.5 times, meaning the Morning Star's damage is 72.25. which is better than a Dark Sword, and it's kind of free. Its durability only goes down while you have it equipped, since it provides light, not the amount of hits you actually do with it. So there you go, it lasts quite long. When I'm done with it, I'm just going to deconstruct it with the deconstruction staff to get the Volt Goat Horn back. So from looking at the map, I can kind of tell that the Lunar Island is in this direction, so I'm putting down a boat and setting it up for when we're going to be going sailing pretty soon. So see, like here. So from this biome, this forest biome, see how it loops all the way around to this biome. See? So that's a loop, except it's cut off by the Lunar Island, because the Lunar Island is over here somewhere. Yeah, so there's the Lunar Island. After explaining to my chat how you're meant to find the Lunar Island, I found a bottle which told me where the crab lady is. Yahoo! Now, usually I don't find this early, so it's very nice that I actually found this during winter and not during the spring. After sailing for a few minutes, I luckily found a massive cookie cutter shoal. Like right here, these are cookie cutters. They have a 25% chance to drop a cookie cutter shell, and I need 10 of those shells to upgrade the crab lady's home, and I need to upgrade the crab lady's home because once you do that, add some other tasks, she gives you a pearl, which you need to defeat a boss to get a specific drop. It's very convoluted. Captain, there's an iceberg. Bonk. Luckily, I didn't poke a hole in my boat. So there is a reason I am bonking into these sea salt formations, because I want 10 salt crystals, what I got right there, because with 10 salt crystals, I can make a salt box, which can store raw items of food, and they last 4 times longer. For comparison, a fridge keeps your food fresh for 2 times longer, but the downside to the salt box is you can only put raw stuff in it. So like raw meat and raw vegetables. Oh boy, there's a whole lot of cookie cutters. Look at all the cookie cutters. I gotta keep up. Oh goodness, they keep coming on. Luckily, I am Mighty Wolfgang, so I one-hit them. So, and now I have all of the cookie cutter shells that I need. Nice. Captain, you're coming in a bit quick there. Slow down. Holy moly, look at the size of that leak. I can't believe I've done this. Good thing I have boat patches, otherwise this boat would sink. I'm a bad captain, I'm sorry. And then I'm so lucky. I found a Malbatross spawner, like, right away. So I'm going to come back here with a fishing rod and fish some of these deep bass. Because every time I hook a deep bass, I have a chance to spawn Malbatross. And Malbatross is one of the bosses that we need to kill. Now, I respect all single mothers out in the world, but man, I really wanted some meat. I'm sorry. The green hue added to the world must mean it's spring. And for all of our sins, God is going to punish us with thunder and rain. Well, technically lightning, not thunder. I guess both. So I begin the fishing process to be able to spawn Malbatross. And I fish. And I keep fishing. And I kept fishing so hard that the entire shoal is now out of stock. There are no fish left. I can't spawn Malbatross if there's no fish to catch. So we'll come back another day. Is it that time already? Moose Goose? So here is the spring boss. Well, actually, there's multiple of these that are spawned around the world. And now, I need to make a weather panes. Weather panes cost 10 of these moose goose feathers per weather pane. So, and since I'm going to need 9 weather panes, I basically need as many feathers as I can get. So, slaughtering time. So we'll watch this entire one moose goose fight so you know what to do. Otherwise, we're going to skip past the rest of them. So, depending on how fast you can move, I'm doing 4 hits, then running away. And so the moose goose will do 3 normal attacks, and then it will do a honk attack. And the honk attack makes you drop whatever weapon you're holding, but you can just predict it because it's every 4th attack. So if you get ready to press spacebar every 4th Moose Goose attack, then you'll pick up your walking cane or your weapon, whatever you're wearing. So that's pretty simple, right? No, that's not the entire fight. So as you can see, there is an egg hiding up there next to the Moose Goose's nest. And in that nest are a few devil children. So if you wait long enough, the egg does hatch naturally, but we're very impatient, so we're going to use a hammer to make their birthday ever so slightly earlier, which also makes their funeral a little earlier. Now here I'm hitting these goats with the Morning Star, which electrifies them, which allows them to drop electric goat milk. And as you can see, I'm kind of doing something sneaky. I'm hitting them 4 times and then hitting them with the Morning Star, because that locks them into an animation so they never even get to attack me. This electric goat milk makes ice cream, which is a 50 sanity per ice cream, which is very good for Fuelweaver, which we'll be killing later. Now it is time to exterminate the bee population inside of the game, because I need stingers, lots of stingers, for the upcoming fights on the sea. Stingers make boat patches, and boat patches you need to repair your boat. At least it's the best item to repair your boat with. After exterminating the entire moose goose population in their sleep, I returned to my base with around 90 feathers, which is enough. Now I need to go back and fish for Malbatross, but I'm also in an awkward position where my secondary boat doesn't have any lightning protection, but my first boat does. So I need to get both boats out to sea at the same time, so it's going to be a bit finicky. But hey, we did it, so let's go start fishing. Now, unfortunately, you probably saw that there was some squid in the sea just then, and that's annoying because squid eat fish, which means now I have less fish that I can catch to have better chances at spawning Malbatross. But oh well, let's try spawn Malbatross, round 2. So naturally, the first fish that I catch spawns Malbatross. Nice. So the fight begins. Malbatross is pretty basic. She just slaps you with her tail. The only dangerous part of the fight is the fact that it is on sea, so you have to make sure your boat doesn't take too much damage, otherwise you will sink. And with her tail slaps, she does slowly push your boat away. So as you can see, I'm trying to lure her really deep into the boat and then go in and attack her. And once you get her to low enough HP, she'll try to run away, except in this fight, she kinda didn't. She kinda just sat there, so I just continued attacking her. But usually what's meant to happen is she flies away, and then she'll dash across you, and it will destroy any of your sails that are on your boat. That's why I made the second boat, because it doesn't have any sails, to make sure that my first boat doesn't break. But otherwise, it's a very easy boss, because she only has 5,000 HP. Now her drops are actually pretty good. She drops blue gems, which I need for Crab King to make ice staffs, and her bill can be used to make a watering can for farming, which has tons of uses compared to the normal watering can. And her bill also counts as an ore, so you can row with it, and it's the strongest ore in the game. And she drops blueprints and ingredients to make the best sails in the game, so the sails that make you travel the fastest. So now we're back down into the caves because we're looking for 3 things, and we're kind of on a time crunch because the full moon is on day 51 and we need to be back on the surface by day 51. The tentacle pillar that leads to Fuelweaver's chamber, we're looking for Toadstool, and we need to gather 8 fossils so that we can spawn Fuelweaver. So I'm getting the fossils by killing the spiders from a stalagmite and then mining the stalagmite because it gives between 1 and 2 fossils every time, so that's pretty fast. Oh, I found a tentacle pillar. Alright, let's see. Usually I use Thulsite crowns to take these tentacles out, but you can actually just kill them with 6 hits with a mighty Wolfgang and a Morning Star. And so let's see, is it going to take me to Fuelweaver's chamber? Let's find out. Unlucky, it is not going to take me to Fuelweaver's chamber. I mean, the first one would have been pretty unlikely. Oh, this looks like a Toadstool. Oh, it is Toadstool! So Toadstool has 3 different spawners in the caves, and the first spawner we find actually contains Toadstool. 1 in 3 chance, you know, that's pretty lucky. Oh, the second tentacle pillar I found. Let's see, is this one going to take me to Fuelweaver? Yo, this is actually Fuelweaver's chamber. That's so lucky. The second tentapillar we find takes us to Fuelweaver. Now, the reason that this is so huge is because I usually budget about 8 or 9 days to find all those 3 things, but we found all of them in 2 or 3 days. So now we have in spare like 6 days to do whatever we want. And what are we gonna do with those spare days? Steal this bunny village's carrot supply and then receive karma for stealing said carrot supply. We heading back to the ruins, baby, because we need to make some Thulsite crowns for armor, a lazy explorer, which is the staff that allows you to teleport a short distance, and we need to kill Ancient Guardian because he drops the ancient key which we need to spawn Fuelweaver. You need so many things to spawn Fuelweaver, I swear, dude. Now again, because they changed how flinching works in the game, or stagger works, you can't kill the Ancient Guardian the way I killed him in the last video, so it's just a little bit more annoying to kill him because you can't get in as many hits. You can only get in like 2 hits, sometimes 3. Otherwise, you get your hits in, you dodge his charge, and then you rinse and repeat. Other than the ancient key, this guy also drops a chest with randomized ruins loot, and sometimes you can get good stuff. This time we got a crown and some Thulsite, so that's actually pretty good. But if you rush the Ancient Guardian before your first winter, he can give you a lazy explorer, so that is one way of getting a walking cane before the first winter. Back on the surface, I make an ice flingomatic ready for summer so that my base doesn't catch fire. But now it started raining, so I quickly, but also carefully, because I forgot my boat patches, head over to the crab lady and give her an umbrella. That's one of her tasks that I have to do, and it is full moon and the moon event has begun. So what I did there is I stuck my spare Starcrawler staff into the moonstone, and now we're in the process of changing it into a Mooncrawler stove. Mooncrawler stove? A Mooncrawler staff. And we absolutely need this because we need to deconstruct the Mooncrawler staff to get the gem inside of it. But during the event, hounds and werepigs spawn that are trying to destroy it. That's why I built walls and put down fossils so that they can't get to it, and I can kill them for some easy meat. And with the moonstone event complete, all of the spare hounds and werepigs turn into moonstones. Ghost darn frog rain, and the hounds are in the way. Get out of the way. Smash, smash. Alright, and then we make our way through finally to the Mooncrawler staff and grab that out of the pedestal, and we're done here. Now, after gearing up and making my way back to Fuelweaver's chamber with everything I need, it's time to fight Fuelweaver. If you've seen my last video, then you know what he does. If you don't know what he does, then I'm about to explain. So firstly, he has a basic melee attack where he swings his skull and deals a lot of damage. Another attack which is pretty common and has a cooldown is he'll trap you in a bone cage, which I could teleport out of, or I can just tank Fuelweaver. And he can summon bones from the ceiling, except during this fight I make him avoid doing that attack, since he only does that attack when he's standing inside that red circle on the floor. Now he starts with 16,000 HP, and when he drops below 10,000 HP, he gets some new attacks. So first he can make himself invincible, and I need to send myself into insanity by using the Nightmare Amulet to destroy the shadow hands that he spawns around the arena. That way he will stop being invincible. And usually around the same time he does that, he'll summon a bunch of healers that all heal him for a whole lot of health. So I have to stop him from being invincible, and I have to destroy all of the minions. Now this is why I have the Weather Pane. If there's too many minions and I start getting overrun, then I'll cast a Weather Pane, since the minions only have 1 health, and the Weather Pane hits lots of times for very small damage. And if I'm caught being insane during the fight, like when I'm killing the shadow hands, the Fuelweaver can do a mind control attack, which if successful will completely immobilize you for quite a few seconds. Now we're going to watch the entire fight all the way through because it's a very interesting fight with lots going on. So, let's go. As easy as I may have made it look, it's actually kind of a really tough boss battle because there's a lot of things going on, and if you slip up, you know, Fuelweaver can heal for a lot. But anyway, job's a good one. So now, who's next? So Toadstool is the next boss, but we need dark swords for him. But look at this bone helm. It's so nice for farming nightmare fuel. If you don't know what the bone helm does, it temporarily sets your sanity to 0 like a nightmare amulet, but it makes the shadow creatures passive. Most of the time, it will force 1 or 2 shadow creatures to spawn in. So, it's really fast for farming nightmare fuel. Forgive me, I need to commit crimes against the beefalo because I'm running really low on meat. Cool. I've angered the horde, boy, here they come. Oh my goodness, there's 2 tentacles whipping the baby beefalo back there. I can't, this is such a massacre. 2 babies and like 4 or 5 adults, oh my goodness. Ah yes, the spoils of war. Wait, is that Starsky? Oh my goodness, we found Starsky! Hey! So Starsky, aka Hutch, is the same as Chester, but for the caves. Did someone say it's Toadstool time? Oh my goodness, it's Big Frog Boy. So last run, I did this boss last, but since I found him so early, we're doing him now. So Toadstool is just a big fat damage sponge. He has 52,500 health, and he has a few attacks, none of which directly attack you. So his most common attack is his boom shrooms. He'll puke out a bunch of boom shrooms that you have loads of time to react. They build up and then explode. To be fair, they do really huge damage, but they're extremely easy to avoid. I say that, then I immediately get hit by one. Nice. Then his next attack is when he puts a spore bomb on top of you. This spore bomb will linger over your head for a few seconds before exploding, and it leaves a patch of like toxic clouds, toxic fumes on the floor, and these toxic fumes will damage you and also spoil your food. Now, because I'm Wolfgang and I move kind of fast, I'm only in the toxic cloud field for a split second, so it only spoils my food a little bit, but that's why I left half of my food in the fridge. Well, I say I left it in my fridge. I accidentally cast a weather pane too close to my fridge, and the weather pane destroyed my fridge. But it's fine. The food is better on the floor than it is in my inventory right now. Oh, and I should probably explain what these trees do and why I'm knocking them down with the weather panes. So the attack that spawns trees goes on cooldown, on a timed cooldown, so I have to knock them down really fast so I have maximum time to do as much damage as possible. But what the trees actually do is the more trees that are alive and left up increases Toadstool's speed, his armor, which is damage reduction, increases the amount of damage his boom shrooms do and the amount of boom shrooms that he summons, and yeah, so it basically buffs him in every single aspect, so you have to get rid of them. We have entered the last phase of Toadstool. You can tell because now he's doing a stomp attack. So all the attacks are the same, except now he'll weave in a stomp attack, which is a big AoE attack, except the area of effect isn't that big. The animation makes it look like it's a huge area of effect, but it's actually not that big. But it does hit pretty hard, so better not get hit by it. Frog Boy is down! So yeah, the boss fight isn't hard. It's one of the few boss fights where you can confidently just not take any damage. He actually gave me the rare blueprint, the glow cap. He doesn't have a 100% chance of dropping that blueprint, so we got kind of lucky. There is a harder version of this boss which has 99,000 HP rather than 52,500, and he drops another blueprint with a guaranteed chance of getting the blueprint that I just got. Who put this sandstorm here? Is it summer already? Yeah, it's summer, and we needed 11 cactus flowers for what's her name? Pearl's quests. Yes, the Crabby Lady's quests. But while we're in the desert, we may as well slaughter the lion that looks like an ant. Goodness gracious me, I'm too late. The antlion is causing an earthquake already. So if you didn't know, what antlion actually does is every so often, if you don't feed him any rocks, or if he's still alive, so if you don't kill him, he will cause these little like earthquake things to appear on the floor, and any structure on top of those earthquake things get completely destroyed. If that happens in your base, you're having a bad time. So the best way to avoid that is just kill him. So speaking of which, let's start the fight. So the antlion doesn't actually directly attack you. What he does is he summons sand spikes, which do a bunch of damage, but as you can see, as long as you somewhat move slightly as the sand spikes come up, you usually avoid them. Unless you get trapped in like I just did by some sand spikes. Also a fun fact, throughout the fight he starts attacking faster the longer the fight goes on, and also if you don't attack him for like a few seconds, he'll start eating rocks which heals him, so yeah, you gotta always attack him. But he doesn't have a lot of health, so he died pretty fast. Easy boss. Next we need a list of things for the crab lady to make her best friends with me, including 8 berry bushes, 10 marble, 5 moon rock, cactus salad, I'm forgetting the rest of them. Basically it's a big long list, and 10 butterflies. I need 10 butterflies as well. And then after that I went to kill some spiders, and hey look, a spider queen. And the only reason I'm doing this is because so many people commented in the last video saying, why didn't you kill Spider Queen? So I'll say again, I don't count Spider Queen as a boss. She's more like a mini boss because she doesn't drop a figure sketch and she only has like 2,500 health, so she dies really quickly. But here, just for you guys, here's a Spider Queen kill. So the strat in killing her is you wait for her to spawn a spider, then you kill the said spider wherever she spawns, then you do 3 or 4 hits, then dodge, and then every time she spawns a spider, just kill the spider. Otherwise she does hit pretty hard, so you have to dodge her attacks. Punch, and Wolfgang wins again. Ahoy, Crab Lady, I'm here to do some tasks for you. So what tasks are we doing for her? We have to plant 8 berry bushes and then fertilize them. That's why I brought some rotten poop. and then we fixed up her house, gave her a flower salad, fixed up her house again, and then fixed up her house for the final time, so now it's a nice mansion for the crab lady. And then, with the bottle that I had, I bought a pinch and winch blueprint, and then, crab lady, your trees, they seem to be on fire. Well, I'm gonna ignore that situation and kill the lure plant, because that is also another task. Ignore the forest fire. I'm just gonna hang you some nice, delicious monster meat to dry. Crab lady, I really did try to contain this fire, but I can't help it, I'm sorry. Well, the crab lady went to sleep, so because she's ignoring the forest fire, I'm going to ignore it too, and I'm gonna plant those butterflies. Then I'm gonna pre-craft the pinch and winch for later, and now we wait, because I need the crabby lady to come back out of the house in the morning to give me her pearl. And then I build the pinch and winch, and pick up all of these balls of like mess under the sea. You get an extra task point if you do this, and this will be the last task for the pearl. And then Pearl graciously gave me her pearl, and then don't tell her what I did next, but all of the stuff I just pulled out of the ocean for her, I dumped all straight back in because I didn't have room on my boat. Oh goodness, a wildfire targeted my boat. Luckily, I have an eagle eye and I spotted it before it caught fire. If that caught fire, been bad, my boat would have sank because I had no way of putting it out. And the reason we're still on the boat is because we were wanting to find the Lunar Island, which we found earlier, so we're just gonna head on back because we need to do a couple of things. Well, actually only one thing. There are 3 lunar altar pieces on this island, so we need to find them, mine them out, and then we're leaving, because then we're gonna bring a beefalo back here to move them into place, because much like the statue pieces, you move very slowly when you carry them yourself, but not on a beefalo. Help! The boat's being raided by spooners! Quick, take care of them! Stupid spiders following Chester. Goodbye, Mooncaller's staff. You served me well, but I need the iridescent gem that is inside of you. Thank you. And we needed that gem because now we're heading to the archives. And if you didn't know, to activate the archives, you need an iridescent gem. Because, hey, look, it's right here. You need to plant this iridescent gem in a pedestal, and bam, the archives are now activated. Oh my goodness, a knowledge machine. So this is the only piece of knowledge that we actually need. We just need to make an astral detector. Stupid centipede, never interrupt me ever again. And now we have to solve a memory puzzle. So you step randomly on these tiles and they'll light up, and they light up in a specific order, and that's the order you have to step on them in, and then it unlocks the forgotten knowledge. You get a blueprint for the astral detector, and the astral detector we will need. And this is what the astral detector does. You plant it on the ground and it points you in the direction of an altarpiece that is hidden underground, so you need to go dig it up. And there's the first altarpiece, and there's the second altarpiece. Easy. Wait, why are you placing the astral detector down if we've already found all the altar pieces? Well, there's one last piece that we need to find, and that piece is being guarded by the Crab King. So you can see it's pointing over there in that direction, so that's where I'm guessing Crab King will be, in that little cutout that I'm indicating with the mouse right there. So it's autumn now, and while I was preparing for Crab King, I realized I didn't have enough blue gems. Luckily, I went to dig up one grave and I immediately got a blue gem. Here he is, the Crab King. So in preparation, I'm just making a small hole in the rocks surrounding the Crab King, because I don't mine all of the rocks, because if you do, sometimes sharks and whales can squeeze past the rocks and they can interrupt the fight. And I built a lightning rod beforehand in case it starts raining. So I don't want lightning to strike my boat while I'm fighting Crab King. That would be an actual disaster. Now, I actually have 2 boats. I have one boat that's going to hold Chester, the lightning rod, and everything else. Chester, you are the captain of this boat now. Take care of it. And the other boat that I'm going to place is going to be a boat that just has my gear on it. That way, everything's simple, and everything on my boat is the stuff that I will immediately need for the Crab King fight, so that I don't get confused and mess up during the fight. So now, this fight is as complex as Fuelweaver, if not more complex. So let's go over all of the Crab King's moves before we play the fight in its entirety. The Crab King's most common attack is a geyser attack. If you let this attack go off, it will poke lots and lots of holes in all of the boats surrounding Crab King. But it's okay, we will be cancelling this attack using ice staffs. So as he's about to cast it, we will freeze the Crab King, which cancels his casting animation. Next is an attack where he summons 6 crab claws in a hexagon shape around Crab King himself. Now before the fight, I have positioned myself very precisely so that hopefully only 2 claws will bite onto my boat. Since the claws will be in a hexagon shape, there is a point or 2 points where only 2 claws will be able to reach my boat. But those claws will clamp onto my boat and deal damage over time, and if they deal too much damage, my boat will sink. Crab King's next attack is a freeze attack where he just freezes everything around him. This has a massive animation, so it's very easy to dodge this, you just have to step back. And Crab King can heal himself for 750 every second. So he lifts up rocks out of the ocean and tries to heal himself. The only way to stop this is to hit him more than twice in that 1 second. That way the rock will break and that will cancel the heal. Now characters can hit more than twice per second, but it's quite unreliable, so that's why I have weather panes, which hit lots of times every second. So that will help break the rock. And the way you spawn this boss is you have to socket him with 9 gems. So I'm going to socket him with 8 purple gems. And what this does, it buffs his geyser attack, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be cancelling the geyser attack anyway. And you have to socket the Pearl's Pearl, otherwise he won't drop the Celestial Altar Piece that we need. And the Pearl's Pearl buffs every single aspect of Crab King 3 times. So that's why the Crab King fight is really hard with the Pearl's Pearl. Without Pearl's Pearl, it's a very easy fight, but you know, we're using the Pearl's Pearl, so it makes it harder. Anyway, here's the Crab King fight in its entirety, and boy oh boy, towards the end of the fight, my heart really did start racing. Actual disaster. So this part of the fight I started panicking because a third claw just clamped onto my boat, so that means my boat is not positioned correctly. So now I need to reposition my boat and hope that the third claw doesn't clamp onto my boat again. Oh my goodness, that fight was so fast. I thought, okay, he broke my other boat, but it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. I thought I was doing really bad. I thought I was doing so bad. I thought I was doing awful. I thought I had at least 2 more phases to go. What the heck is live commentary Jakey talking about? My boat broke. No, it didn't. I'm still standing on it. Wait. What about Chester's boat? Can we get a replay on that, please? No, Chester was on that boat. That means Chester has drowned. What are we gonna do? But also, so what caused that boat to sink is, if you recall, there was an extremely close call where 2 holes got poked in my boat because I cancelled his geyser animation a tad too late. Now, normally he can poke up to like 10 or 20 holes, so I cancelled it just a bit late. But the other boat probably got a few more holes, so that boat sacrifice saved my boat from taking on too many holes. The wreckage of the boat, and Chester isn't here. So usually when Chester drowns, he's meant to spawn at the closest coast to where he drowned. But spoilers, I didn't find him. And that's kind of a big deal, because he had my Magiluminescence in him. So now I'm doing the rest of the run without a Magiluminescence. Anyway, I grabbed the last Celestial Altar and I paddled my way back to the coast. Goodness me, hello Bearger. Sorry, people got mad at me in the comments when I called him Bearger, but I don't know how to say it. What, Bearger? Bearger? I don't know how to say it, it sounds weird. Anyway, so last run I let Bearger get a bunch of trees chopped down for me. This time, I'm gonna let him chop down some trees, but otherwise I wanna kill him pretty fast because this run's time is looking pretty healthy. Now, it's time to transport all of those altar pieces back to the Lunar Island, but as you can see, all the beefalo on the map are in heat, which is very unfortunate because when a beefalo is in heat, if you try to saddle it and ride it, your ride time is cut down dramatically, so I would only be able to ride the beefalo for 3 seconds. Obviously, that's unbearable, but a genius in the chat was like, what if you take the beefalo down into the caves and then you bring it back up? And I was like, let's give that a try. It worked! So I'm guessing when you bring a beefalo down into the caves, it pulls them away from their herd, like in the code, I guess, and therefore when you bring them back up to the surface, they're no longer in heat. So there you go, that's how that works. So we loaded up all the altar pieces and then started unloading them on the Lunar Island, and then suddenly, hound attack! So these later game hound attacks are actually kind of dangerous because especially in this situation when I didn't have a weapon on me for some reason. So luckily there were mobs around me, so I just used the mobs to kill the hounds, like the spiders and the salamanders. But yeah, always have a weapon on you. Now let's just socket all these altars in a nice triangle and see what happens. Oh, what a scary noise. Wait, what the heck? Once again, the moon has opened its eye, because it's like, damn, what's going on down there? No, but for real, I think the lore behind this is that the moon is like, holy guacamole, they've assembled the altar pieces. They might be trying to use my lunar power for something that I don't want them to use it for. So now the eye is keeping an eye on us. So I started gathering my bunny army to use during the Moonstorm event. So during the Moonstorm event, what you have to do is you have to defend something from birds which die in 1 hit, but they're very annoying, and usually bunnies are good for taking care of them. But I'm going to skip past this because I ended up not using the bunnies because they all got destroyed by tentacles in the swamp. Speaking of skipping over things, I'm going to skip over the fact that I spent a while just gathering materials which I need to spawn the last boss. By the way, we're up to the last boss now. And this is what we needed the potato for, to craft this helmet that allows me to see during the lunar storm. Anyway, there's one event complete without any help from the stupid bunnies. And there's the second event complete. And then Wagstaff Don't Starve tried to lead me into the Dragonfly desert, and then Dragonfly came after me because the stupid hounds are attacking Dragonfly. So I had to force Wagstaff's little experiment to fail so that he would do the experiment somewhere else because I couldn't do it while being chased by Dragonfly. And there's the third event complete. Now those took like 5 minutes apiece, but now we have everything we need to spawn the last boss. And now let's continue building the Lunar Siphonator. So this uses all of the materials and all of the event materials that I gathered over the past however long, and this will spawn a boss. But I'm going to be quiet until the boss is dead, because the boss's attacks are very simple, they are exactly what they look like, and just know that every one of his attacks does tons of damage. Hey, that wasn't so bad. Easy fight. Alrighty, so the run's done. What day is that? Day 80. Wait, what? Oh, right, yeah. He has a second phase, by the way. And his second phase has the one deadly attack, which is that one right there, where he spins, and that does continuous damage if you stay too close. Then that next attack, he summons a bunch of greater gestalts that do a lot of damage, but I dodged them. Then he has an attack where he stabs the floor and makes walls. You need to stay clear of these walls, because if you get trapped on the walls while he does his buzzsaw attack, then that's going to really hurt. Then he has a basic attack where he just slaps the floor, and that's it. But also, this music is gosh darn amazing. Nice. That salad man has set me on fire partway through the fight, but that was fine. I dealt with it like a man. I tanked the fire damage. Good Wolfgang. And oh no, again. Okay, so I swear this is its last phase. And in this phase, its attacks change completely. He summons a bunch of pillars, which that's why I brought a weather pane so I can destroy the pillars from a distance, because if you stay too close to the pillars, they put you to sleep. Then the Celestial Champion gains various laser attacks, which hit a lot of times twice. And he has this attack where he plunges into the floor and summons loads of greater gestalt, and if they hit you for massive damage and they put you to sleep. And he has a basic attack where he just plunges into the floor and does some melee damage.
a magnificent death animation, and there's the time. Day 88 and 9 segments, which is 708.5 minutes, or 11 hours, 48 minutes, and 30 seconds. So hey, a sub 12 hour run, that's pretty cool. Wagstaff comes and he steals the moon's power. Now the moon is sad, and it is a new moon, because the moon is gone. Or, well, it's not gone, but like, the moon is definitely sad because we stole its power. And that's it, that's the run. We finished with Celestial Champion. I can't believe it, we did it, boys, and we did it in a pretty fast time as well. I do have a time that's faster than this, but it was before the Twin Terrors got introduced, and that was 85 days. This was 88 days, but that's not all, because if you remember, I did lose Chester, so after the run, I went and tried to find Chester. We found him! Chester, I'm so sorry! We let you drown. Do you have all of your stuff? He still has everything in there. Oh my goodness, Chester, my little hero. So the big man himself recovered. We found him. But on a more serious note, I didn't expect my Don't Starve Together videos to do so well. So I'm thinking of doing a Mega Base series, because I feel like a lot of people liked watching these videos for the extra information and knowledge they got. And a Mega Base series would allow me to let all of that information out through one big series, since I would be covering every aspect of the game. So let me know what you think about that. Don't forget to comment as well for the giveaway. And yes, thank you for watching. This is great fun, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.